Hello dear students of class 8 and welcome to yet another online class of general knowledge. Dear children, today we are going to do a very important lesson from our GK book because it is related with our freedom struggle. Now dear children, today we will be talking about women freedom fighters. Women freedom fighters of India. Children, when our country was under the British rule and almost entire country was fighting against the atrocities of the British, and many male leaders in the forefront were struggling against the British rule both through the path of violence and non-violence, there were some ladies, some respected women who took part in our freedom struggle, who did what they could to make sure that we see the light of freedom. They are the holy ones, the respected ones, and they deserve utmost respect in our history of freedom struggle. So today we'll be talking about 7 of those ladies. The short descriptions are given in the book. I'll read them to you, and after reading those short descriptions we'll try to recall their names. So let's start with number 1. She is well-known Indian independence activist. She participated actively in public processions, that is Julus, during Salt Satyagraha and was imprisoned. She continued with her protests and strikes inside the jail against poor treatment of prisoners. Due to this, the condition of prisoners in Tihar jail had improved. You see, when she was out, she actively participated in Salt Satyagraha. Okay, she took part in the Salt Satyagraha, due to which she was imprisoned. Now, when she was brought to Tihar jail, she noticed that the prisoners, especially the Indian prisoners in Tihar jail, were treated very badly. Okay, so she started protests and strikes inside the prison, and it was due to her efforts only that the condition of Indian prisoners in Tihar jail improved. And this particular lady is Aruna Asaf Ali. This particular lady was Aruna Asaf Ali, one of the few very popular women freedom fighters. Let's look at the second one here. She met Subhash Chandra Bose in Singapore, who wanted to raise a women's regiment for his Indian National Army. She motivated women to join INA's all-women regiment, and it was a great success. She participated in INA march to Burma with Japanese army in December 1944. She was arrested by British Army in May 1945. She remained under house arrest in Burma, presently it is known as Myanmar, till March 1946, when she was sent to India at the time of INA trials. This particular lady, dear children, is very closely associated with INA, that is Indian National Army. You see, when Subhash Chandra Bose reached Singapore, that time there already was an army formed by Raj Bihari Bose. But as Raj Bihari Bose was very old, he wanted to give the command of the army to somebody who is young, who is energetic. Hence, he gave the command of the army to Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, Subhash Chandra Bose had a aim, had a dream, and it was to form an all-women's regiment within INA. And for this holy task, he chose this particular holy freedom fighter. This lady, she motivated the women to join INA as a part of an all-women regiment, and together with the help of Japanese army, they marched towards India through Burma, that is presently Myanmar. But sadly, due to the upturns of the World War II, Japanese army surrendered. INA stopped receiving any kind of help, and INA was defeated, you can say. But this lady and few other soldiers were arrested. Now this lady was kept under house arrest in Burma itself, and later on, during the trials of INA at the historic Red Fort in India, she was sent to India. And this lady's name is Captain Lakshmi Sehgal. Captain Lakshmi Sehgal. Okay, sorry, it is not E, it is A. Sehgal. Captain Lakshmi Sehgal. So let's look at number 3. She worked closely with Mahatma Gandhi during the partition riots. She joined the Indian National Congress and played a major role in politics. She was elected as a member of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly. Now the third freedom fighter we are talking about, she worked very closely with Mahatma Gandhi to ensure peace and tranquility among both Hindus and Muslims when the riots broke out during the partition of India. Also, she was one of the major politicians within the Congress party, all right? And when our Constituent Assembly was formed and a drafting committee was established under B.R. Ambedkar, that is Bhimrao Ambedkar, she was also made the member of the drafting committee. And she is Sucheta Kriplani. Sucheta Kriplani. Okay, now let's look at number 4. She started an underground radio station known as Secret Congress Radio, which was active for a few months during Quit India movement in 1942. As a women, now most you might think that in those days most of the women, they were kept away from education and technology, but these women were not. These women were not, especially the lady we are talking about. She was even able to establish an underground radio station. It was known as Secret Congress Radio, and this radio station was very active during Quit India movement in 1942. Due to this anti-British activity, she was arrested and imprisoned in Yerwada jail in Pune. Due to establishing this anti-British radio station, she was imprisoned in Yerwada jail in Pune, and her name is Usha Mehta. Usha Mehta. All right. So till now we have learnt about 4 ladies. Aruna Asaf Ali, very active during the salt satyagraha. Captain Lakshmi Sehgal, what do you call, founder of the all women regiment within the INA under Subhash Chandra Bose. Then we have Sucheta Kriplani, worked closely with Mahatma Gandhi during the partition riots and was also the member of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly of India. And then we have Usha Mehta, founder of the secret radio station called Secret Congress Radio. And due to this anti-British activity, she was imprisoned in Yerwada jail in Pune. Now coming to the 5th one. And 5th one, by the very first clue, you must be able to derive her name. You should be able to derive her name. She is popularly known as the Nightingale of India. She is popularly known as the Nightingale of India. She traveled across various places in India and delivered lectures on social welfare to invoke women to participate in freedom struggle. She tried to arouse the feeling of nationalism through her lecture. She served as the first governor of the United Provinces. Now she is known as Nightingale of India, and she had also traveled during the freedom struggle. She traveled to various parts of India and aroused people through her speeches and lectures. She aroused people to participate in the freedom struggle. And her name, as I told you from the very first clue, I think you must have derived it, Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu, Sarojini, Sarojini, Naidu, Naidu, Sarojini Naidu. 6th one, she was the lady of Irish origin, means she was from Ireland, okay? She was from Ireland, she was Irish, who joined the Indian National Congress and gave it a new direction. She supported Indian self-rule, that is self-government. She was the supporter that British should leave India and leave the governance of the country in the hands of Indians only, and started Home Rule League. This organization had many branches in India which motivated people to protest and demonstrate for home rule in India. And this particular lady was Annie Besant. Annie Besant, B-E-S-A-N-T, Besant. She was an Irish lady who came to India and started Home Rule League. Home Rule League. And now the last one, the seventh one. Throughout her life, she struggled for Indian independence. On 22nd August 1907, she unfurled, means she hoisted, the Indian flag at Stuttgart, Germany. She went to Stuttgart in Germany, okay, while attending the International Socialist Conference. She went to Stuttgart, Germany to attend a conference there, and in that particular conference only she unfurled the Indian national flag and raised her voice for human rights and equality in India. She was exiled till 1935 due to her illegal, what you call, anti-social activities. Sorry, we will not call it anti-social, anti-British activities. She was exiled, means kept out of India since till 1935. It was only after 1935 she was allowed to come to India. And this lady was Madam Bhikhaiji, Bhikhaiji, Bhikhaiji Kama. Madam Bhikhaiji Kama, M-A-D-M, Madam B-H-I-K-H-A-J-I, Bhikhaiji, sorry, B-H-I-K-A-J-I, Bhikhaiji Kama, K-A-M-A, Kama. Now dear children, this ends our lesson for the 7 ladies. Your work is to do quiz time in your notebook. Quiz time in your notebook. Thank you very much. Stay safe.